I was wondering what you were waiting on.
I don't know.
You know,
Hey,
Lenessa feisty today. What's up?
yes,
You all right? She
yes.
feisty.
I'm normal. I'm fine.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep my
right.
distance.
I'm normal.
What's up, everybody? We're gonna just chop it up for a little bit till a couple more folks get to come on, uh, and we're going to, hey, do what we do.
You know what, Chris? I need to ask.
You need an ashtray. Hold on, let me get Miss Puffin Pretty ashtray. Where's my package at? Right over there. Cool. All right.
Hey Jay, you ever had a God of Fire?
Yes, I have, sir.
Is it a good smoke?
Yes, it is, sir.
I never had one before.
You will enjoy that, sir.
Is that the one I gave you?
Good.
Nah, this is a different one. I smoked one. No, that one's still sitting in my humidor.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, this one was given to me a couple days ago.
17. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we're gonna wait for a couple more people to come on. Hey, Chanel, Miss Peoples, what's going on?
I ain't got to work tomorrow.
You ain't got to work tomorrow. What you
I
going
ain't
to
got to
do?
work tomorrow, so I'll see y'all sipping on something good. I'm gonna.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
let y'all,
I
I'm gonna let
I
y'all
gotta
smoke.
I gotta have one for this one right here.
That one what?
And
Yeah,
and
for
to
this one,
drink.
I think we're gonna go with the
Okay.
blue.
Oh, some blue.
So yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
All right. Hey, look here, everybody. Well, you know what? It's 8:00. It's officially showtime. How's everybody doing? I am Mr. Petworth, affectionately known, and in a little bit you'll know me with some other AKAs as I will read something to you. Um, well, you know what? Uh, one second. Give me
Cheers.
1 second. Please. 1 second. Cheers.
I needed that.
Otherwise.
All right. Sorry about that. But look here. Let's start this off with well, you know what? Let me start it off with the Miss Co-host here, Lenessa Terry. What's going on, Lenessa?
Hey, this is another Monday. Cheers to Monday.
Here's the Monday.
Yeah, Mondays sometimes are rough days, but they can always be good days because we woke up, right? All is well. Had a good weekend, just doing what I do, regular stuff. But I rested yesterday because I knew today was going to be action. So I had to get a little bit of rest.
Okay.
Because I knew I was going to be hanging out late with Mr. Petworth.
I hear you. And hey, Jay Ferg, what's going on in your world, man?
My world is great, brother. Just got done celebrating our 10-year anniversary of our South Beach Seafood Festival. Had an amazing event, 22,000 people strong, celebrating 2 days. So,
Wow. Congratulations, bro.
Keep on what you're doing, man. Thank you.
Good stuff.
I missed another year, but it's okay. It's on my to-do list.
Did you have anything to do with that event?
He didn't even give us a heads up on it.
Yeah,
That's how
we did. It's one of my signature events I do every year. I've been
Is
doing
that
it for
right?
10 years. Yeah.
Can
So I'm
I ask you a
gonna start. Share.
Yeah. Did all your people get paid? I'm just
They
being
will
petty.
be. They will be paid. Listen, everybody will be paid by Friday. Everybody will be paid.
Is
Staff,
that right?
vendors. Nobody will listen. No man left behind.
There it
Everybody.
is.
No illicit business dealings, none of that stuff. No
Nah,
shady stuff.
everybody. We got the same. Listen, we got some of the same vendors for 10 years.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy.
So that's what we do, man. Listen, we do business over here. You heard me?
We do business. All right, man.
There
Later on.
There it is.
Later
right
on, we'll talk about business. All right.
There. There it is.
Hey, Rob, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I am just chilling. It's a good day to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Flyers is kicking ass. Phillies is headed to the World Series, and my Eagles are the only undefeated team in the league. So I'm in a good place right now, bro.
Eagles,
man.
brother,
Yes, sir.
City of brotherly love.
Okay, all right. Well, and you know what? To my right of me,
Drum roll.
Because I just got to go last in how I'm feeling. But, you know, I want to introduce to some, present to others, Miss Susie, a.k.a. the Lit Torch app. Miss Susie Mooney. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. All right.
It's good to see you, Susie.
Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear her now? She act like she's scared or something. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, you ain't got to be scared. You in good company. You well protected.
What up, Ken? Hey, Ken.
Yeah. So everything good in your way?
Things are good. Yeah,
Okay.
things are good. Moving it in other directions, as you all know. So I'm here for a moment. Just for a moment. So yeah.
That's
I can't
cool.
even tag you on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
No, I shut everything down.
Susie's not even on Facebook, but she's here with us.
She shut everything down.
Shut everything down. It's gonna stay shut down. I'm not coming back.
I was just checking.
Says she's not coming back. Well, one of the things why we're here today, is to bring light of the last show, what it meant, what it was meant for. And some people took it how they want to take it, and went as far as to say that Mr. Petworth, Smoking Jacket Broadcast, Lenessa Terry, Big Rob, Waples, Lenessa Puffer, Pretty Terry, as well as Jay Ferg, myself, and even Petworth Cigars have defamed an individual supposedly in this industry. And so let's just cut to the chase. Susie, one of the reasons why you are here is to talk about what we last show I mentioned to you I wanted to do a show on your departure from the industry and the things that you were doing in the industry. And you had, you admonished me in the way that said, no, I'm not coming back, etc., so forth. And since then, some things have transpired, and we're gonna get to that. But can you just update us on why you left the industry, and you were even watching the last show? Was anything wrong with the last show in your mind, based on information we shared?
So let's go back to the previous show. It was, from my understanding, when Chris asked me to come on, it was to talk about my departure. And I told Chris, I said what I said in my last the farewell message, and I meant that. And I mean that today, that I am no longer pouring into the cigar industry, and that is by choice, and that is by numerous things. And when Chris wanted to talk about it, I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready to talk about everything. However, I am on here to talk about what was briefly talked about. The show was not to bash anybody. It was to talk about Lit Torch. And I told you, I don't want anything to be about me. I don't want it to be about Lit Torch. Let's talk about the issues that I no longer want to deal with. And that was one of the things that was talked about in the podcast last 2 weeks ago. And so with that, some things surfaced from that, and John thinking that he was targeted. And I don't feel like he was targeted. I think the business practices was what was being talked about, and he happened to be mentioned. And so I'm here to talk about, yes, I left and I'm gone. After this, I'm gone. I am no longer pouring into the cigar industry, and I feel like I came to do a service, and in doing that service, many things happened, and with much prayer and much guidance from God, he told me to move. And I'll tell you this, I kept praying, and God said, stay the course. And so I'm staying the course, but I wasn't listening enough to know that stay the course, just not in this industry.
Not that course.
Right? So I'm staying the course, just not in this industry. And so I'm on here because after the podcast, I tried to handle everything at the lowest level. All business, I tried to, contracts, agreements, teaming agreements, all of that is handled at the lowest level. I did not want to go public about this. If I did, I could have went public about a whole lot of people, but I chose not to. And it just so happened.
Just to clarify, what do you mean at the lowest level? When you say the lowest level?
At the lowest level, business to business.
Okay.
Meaning no outside entities assisting, no arbitration, no courts. And that's just how I am. And I'm not about putting things out in the public or social media. However, with John sharing our business now because of what happened 2 weeks ago, I'm here to squash a couple of lies that's been told.
Okay, fair enough.
Basically, this show was going to go on, and then somewhere on last week, I got a letter from, and I know this is the best I can do with this, but I'm going to read it to you. You got a letters from the Hardy Law Firm pertaining to Mr. John Armstrong, and I'm going to read it to you. Just bear with me. It says, Chris Riley, also known as Dr. C.E. Riley, Chris, Mr. Petworth Riley, Chris Petworth Cigars Riley, and then the Smoking Jacket broadcast, Jason J. Ferguson, Robert Big Rob Waples, Lenessa Terry, Petworth Cigars, at this address here. Basically, this is in reference to a defamation of John Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week LLC by Chris Riley, who known as Dr. C.E. Riley, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and the rest of this broadcast. And so he says, and from his attorney, dear Mr. Riley, this law firm represents John Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week. If you are represented by legal counsel, please direct this letter to your attorney immediately and have your attorney notify us of such representation. You are hereby directed to cease and desist all defamation of the character and reputation of John Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week LLC. Furthermore, let me see, Mr. Armstrong has been an event promoter with events across the country for over 25 years and have been operating Philly Cigar Week since 2018. He has cultivated and developed a strong reputation and valuable relationship in the event promotion industry and in the cigar event industry specifically, the loss of which affects him both personally and economically. The false and defamatory statements have damaged John Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week LLC reputation and potentially adversely affected Mr. Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week LLC income prospects in the field of event promotion and cigar event promotion. Mr. Armstrong has learned that you have engaged in spreading false, destructive, and defamatory statements under Pennsylvania law about him and his company. Really? I ain't got the energy to talk about you, bro. Specifically, Mr. Petworth and what is collectively referred to as the Smoking Jacket broadcast made false and defamatory statements about Philly Cigar Week on its October 11, 2020 show and viewing. Mr. Armstrong, Philly Cigar Week LLC, and a business relationship with Susie Mooney during business as the Lit Torch. Mr. Petworth has made false and defamatory posts on Facebook about Mr. Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week in anticipation of an upcoming Smoking Jacket broadcast, which airs today. Mr. Armstrong has learned that Mr. Petworth has made false and defamatory statements to his event vendors. Accordingly, Mr. Armstrong and Philly Cigar Week has retained this firm to investigate the defamatory statements if necessary, take appropriate legal action. I'm not going to go with the rest of this, except that they said I should immediately cease and desist. And here we are today. We're having the show. So anyway, in relation to this, Susie, what? I know you have some information that you could share with us on basically what this is all about. Are you willing to share that information there?
So I'm only going to talk about a couple facts, and then the rest I'll deal with offline in another setting. Basically, Lit Torch has been working with Philly Cigar Week for years, and we had an agreement on a lot of things. And once Philly Cigar Week ended, payments came to me from Philly Cigar Week. The last payment came to me, I want to say the 8th of September. Yeah, the 8th of September was the last payment that came to me, and I have not received payment anymore. And so I'm here to talk about what Chris mentioned last podcast, that yes, John and I have done business, Philly Cigar Week and Lit Torch. Money is due. Money is still due. And again, the last payment was 8 September. And that's all I really have to say about that. Those are the facts.
And just one question. I mean, because this will come to light sooner or later. But there was a sum total of $5,000 that you gave him to help with a particular show.
Yeah, it's over 5,000. It's over 6,000, and so payments were made, but that has not been satisfied.
And then you do have, of course, and we tried to get put this on the screen, but it only works in certain files. But text and even Cash App receipts of him reimbursing you some of the money and bits and pieces with agreement to pay you back, and verbally in some of the text that you have and the information that I've seen with my own eyes as it pertains to not getting your money back, and you specifically taking a loss in Philly Cigar Week because this gentleman does not even return your calls, etc. And when you do talk about it, he talks about one thing and then does another. Am I correct?
Yes, and actually I ceased communication on the 13th of October when he and I talked, and he told me that he didn't owe me any money, and so we have nothing else to talk about.
All right. So I know you're gonna be done with this for a minute, but if we can just hang in there for the just some of the comments and remarks from our host. J. Ferg, you got anything, man? Are you on mute?
I was taken aback because I don't even know how. I mean, I've never spoken to this man outside of when we had him on the show. So
right.
To receive not one but two phone calls from him was kind of like, I was a little perturbed, to say the least. Because first I was like, well, how'd you even get my number? That was like the first thing, like, I don't know you, for you to even be calling me. But, it's almost like you were calling, he's calling. I'm like, if you want to defend you, it's nothing to defend, bro. If you're right, then, just step up and, present your facts. It's like Susie presenting her facts. If you're so right, rather than going and retaining an attorney, you should have been banging down Chris's door saying, no, let me come on the show so I can defend myself and defend my point.
Wait a minute. Now, he has an opportunity to come on here. All he has to do is email me his email address, and I'll send him an invite, and he can join us right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Right. If you feel strongly about
whoever is watching and can get to him, he welcome. He can come on.
Yeah, I just thought it was really peculiar that, like, first of all, he called me. I was like, what the hell are you calling me for? Like, you know what I mean? But if you feel so strongly about, your points and that you're so right about, and you're being so wrong, then you should have been on here, kicking and screaming with your receipts and freaking defending yourself. But clearly, he wants to lawyer up and, try to use that tactic as, I guess, scare tactic, because he called me basically saying that he wants us to take the show down. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, brother. But, it is what it is. So, we're here with it. So if he wants to go that route and lawyer up, like I said, it's the freedom. This falls under freedom of the press.
Yeah.
Right? And we have a right to report on stuff and we have information on, we can report on it. So whatever, he'll be all right. Somebody gonna give him a hug.
Lenessa.
So I've had dealings with John and Philly Cigar Week because I was actually a vendor at the last event, and I did pay my bill as a vendor, by the way. So I haven't had any negative experiences personally, but certainly to see Susie go over something like this was heartbreaking for me. I actually shed a tear when you posted that video I was watching when you went live. I'm like, what's Susie talking about? I didn't know what she was building up to. I thought she was going to give us some news about something new coming. But to hear her say she was departing from the cigar culture after the service she provides with the app or provided with the app was just crazy to me. So I know that's not the only reason. I know we're here to talk about, just the facts and what's happening recently. But it is really sad to me because, as vendors, we have to pay our bills and our dues to be able to provide a service and to sell at these events. And I know they make enough money to pay their bills. I'm not saying that some of these promoters don't go in the hole. On occasion, I know, Jay, you've experienced events where maybe you didn't make all the money you expected to make. As vendors, we do it all the time. Case in point, Philly Cigar Week. I traveled from DC to Philly. So I had to drive. I had to spend gas money. I had to set up, pull everything out of my car. Chris did help me a little bit, but for the most part, we have to hustle. We have to get set up. We sell our merchandise. We may or may not sell products that day. So we're taking a chance. So sometimes we don't make our money back. I didn't make my money back fully with that event. I didn't make money because I had to spend money. I didn't complain. I didn't complain that it was too windy, that all my sign actually was broken with the wind. And, I don't complain about that. It's a risk that you take. But regardless of what you make, your people have to get paid, especially if you want to keep the business relationships. So, whether you pay immediately or whether there's an agreement to pay later, bills need to be paid. So my thought is, it's sad that this happened and to this woman right here, it's sad that it happened to her or anybody. But if it was a man, I don't think it would have gone that way. That's my opinion on it.
But just to piggyback on what you're saying, Vanessa. So like Lenessa, I've been doing events for over 25 years, right? I've been in the event game for a very long time. Before Black Smoke, before Destination Hearth, I've been doing events, right? So I have a relationship with a lot of great vendors over the years. And you're right. Sometimes you don't make the money. Sometimes you go into an event and you don't make the money, right? So I have a thing where I have vendors that will front me stuff, right? Like, yo, I need like 20 tents, 50 tables, chairs, right? Right? Because of the relationships, right? They know I'm good for it, right? But even if my event lost money, I'm gonna pick up that phone and say, yo, man, bro, we took a hit. I'm gonna give you 500 this week, and I'm gonna give you 500 next. You know what I mean? But at least we had that communication, and because of the relationship and the communication, it's like everybody knows where everybody stands. So you're not sitting there saying, well, damn, man, the event's over. Where's Jay? I haven't gotten paid. The key to it, even if you take that loss, you still have to make that right, and you have to communicate with your vendors or your sponsor, whoever it is, on a regular basis, and whatever commitment you said you're going to do. If you say, bro, I can give you $500 a week for the next 3 months to take care of this bill, you have to do that. And that's how you keep your name clean. That's how people respect you and want to continue doing business with you. And that's something that I've always done. As a matter of fact, I ain't going to front. I got a vendor right now from Destination Hearth 2022 that I still owe money to. But you know what? Him and I had a conversation. And he was like, Jay, I know this is your first year. You're trying to make it happen. I got you. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. But I was man enough to step to him and say, bro, I took a hit. You know what I mean? It's my first year away from Black Smoke doing Destination Hearth. It's going to take a minute to get it going. But because they respect me enough, because of the years of relationships, right? We worked together for so many years. And the fact that I could come to him as a man and say, bro, it was a little fucked up, right? They were like, we good. Because I've never stiffed them before. So they trust my word. And I've given him money over the past few months, just like, here go 500, here go 300, you know what I mean? So he respects the fact that not only did I come to him and say, I can't pay you that whole $5,000 off the rip, but here's 1,000, here's 500. We're gonna work it down. But I communicate that with him, and I communicate with him on a regular basis. Say, hey, I know I hit you this month, but I got you next month. That's a part of the game. And if you want to be in this game, you have to have integrity with everybody from the. No, I come from a world where they told me a long time ago, you never know what someone's going to be in the future. So you have to treat everybody with the same level of respect, because you never know. From the janitor to the CEO, treat everybody with the same level of respect. And Susie's a woman. Don't look at it as, treat her with the same level of respect, because she took the time to support your event, your project. Give her the same respect. If you can't pay her back everything, work something out. You know what I'm saying? Come to the table, Susie. Yo, I know I got this for you, but you know what? Yo, here's $1,000. We're gonna work this out in the next couple of months. But don't front and be like, I don't owe you no money. Nah, that's a no-go, period.
And Jay, I appreciate your transparency because not everybody will admit, some of the things they've been through as promoters. And I know it happens a lot. We just don't hear about them all. I know it happens all the time.
Because as promoters, right? Let me tell you. Okay, I'll give you an example, right? We, like I said earlier, before we came on live, we just celebrated 10 years of the South Beach Seafood Festival, right? 22,000 people. It was great. It was beautiful. But 10 years ago, we was walking out Ocean Drive giving out tickets. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the bodies in the building so people can experience it. So now they can come back next year and be like, yo, that was actually a good time. But see, people see the end result and think it's all good. But no, sometimes you have to, you got to go through that struggle and that fight to get to that finish line. So now, 10 years later, we can look back and be like, yo, we did this like it was nothing. People will, our gates open at 12 o'clock. Our line started forming at 10:30. Why? Because we were consistent and we took care of our people. And that's what it all boils down to, man. So again, no disrespect to anybody, but handle your business if you're gonna be in this business or any business. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that, like I talked about in the last show. We scream, oh, support this one, black brand here, black brand there, support this, support that, right? But when it comes down to it, we try to shit on each other for no reason. If you're going to support for real. Stop playing with it, man. Stop playing. Susie, if you ever decide to come back into this whacked out cigar world, all right, come holler at me. I got your back, baby. It be me and you rocking out here. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. I'll be your Suge Knight. I'll hang niggas on balconies.
All right, Jay. Thank you.
Y'all got me fired up tonight.
Oh, big Rob. Man, look.
Shit, I'm scared of Big Rob.
You from Philly. I'm from Philly. You gonna keep it real. It's about to get real. What you got, man?
Hold on, let me get some more of this oil up in me.
Water.
That's exactly what it is, water. So, man, it's hard for me to go behind these two because, it's hard to, say what or repeat what's already been said and said so masterfully, from these individuals. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's when I first heard about everything, I kind of took it with a grain of salt. When Chris was just reading the letter and everything, and when I read it prior to the broadcast of this show, I heard my name in there, and see that changes the game for me. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be the co-host of a show and come online and under the freedom of press, you want to express your opinion and say, this, that, and the third and things like that. But when you purposefully go out of your way and you name somebody by name that hasn't done anything wrong, but just spit facts, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what Lenessa, Susie, Chris, Jay, me, that's all we do is spit facts. And in our opinion, you really can't get mad at that. But I heard my name in there. So now I got a problem with you. You know what I mean? And so, you're not the only one that can afford an attorney. I know the courtroom like I know my living room. It's an adversarial arena. I'm familiar with it. But let's just go a little bit deeper real quick. And we're going to talk real quick about that letter. So, here we go.
God. The fact finder.
Yes. Here we go. Defamation. All right. Defamation. It's a noun. The action of damaging the good reputation of someone, otherwise known as slander or libel. Now, in order to be guilty or even remotely close to the definition of defamation, you have to have 5 qualifiers. Those qualifiers are: you have to have a publication of information. In this case, it's us. And we do have this show. So we did put information out there into the public that the public was able to watch and see. The second one is a person is identified by the statement. So we did name John, albeit we tried to keep his name out of it as much as possible. The third one was remarks had a negative impact. Of course, they had a negative impact. You want to know why? Because we named the dude and we named the facts. And then, of course, information was completely false. Information is completely false. Well, the information that we put out there was completely factual. So that right there is a disqualifier. Remember what I said prior to this. You need to have all 5 qualifiers in order for it to be a defamation, even remotely defamation lawsuit. And then, of course, I'm going to try to get above the comment right there. The defendant were at fault. Yes, we're at fault. We're the ones that put the information out there for everybody to see. So right down here at the bottom in red, I'm going to bring this up so everybody can see it, okay? And it says the defense against the defamation case would be, even if someone makes a statement that hurts your reputation, it is not defamation if it is true. Boom. When you're talking to somebody, that enforced criminal law in Pennsylvania. So I ain't scared. I ain't never scared. But what I'm saying is, you might want to have your attorney. Sorry about that. You might want to go back to, have your attorney go back and look up Black's Law Dictionary and try to get the definition of what defamation really means. If you're out there stiffing people and treating people like dirt and doing bad business deals and stuff like that, as somebody calls you on your bullshit, don't get upset, dog. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you're making our city look bad. Real rap. You know what I mean? Like me and Chris, we're both from around the way. So we don't appreciate that. I'm sure that the other folks that you work in collaboration with Philly Cigar Week don't appreciate what it is that you're doing, because you're dragging their name right down into the mud with yours, John. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it is what it is. And I'm glad you didn't call me. But I mean, if you want to call me, you can. You know what I mean? We can make it whatever. I'm like Burger King. You can always get it your way. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, at the risk of not letting this get out of pocket. Okay. I have a tendency to do that sometimes. It's a little late for that. But in all reality, I'm sure there are some really good vendors, the people that put on Philly Cigar Week. I'm sure that they work really hard. I'm sure that they pay their vendors. I'm sure that they work really hard to get the people up there and secure the locations and stuff so everybody can have a good time. It's only the 1 or 2 bad apples in a bunch that spoil it for everybody else. And it seems to me like John is one of them. So, just like my man Jay said a minute ago, somebody will give you a hug, man. You know what I mean? They'll pat you on the head to tell you you're a good boy. But if you're looking for that over here, you ain't going to get it. Because at the end of the day, we are the protectors of this culture and this lifestyle. This is the reason why our podcast exists. We're going to say the things that are hard to say. We're going to ask the questions that people don't want to ask. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we as a Black people and we as minorities, no matter what, at the end of the day, no matter what color you are, we're trying to do something positive that impact the culture that we are a part of. And this is business. And there are no friends in business. At the end of the day, you got to put up or shut up. Pay like you weigh. So if you made a promise to the woman, pay the woman. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Period.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah. So, John, this right here, bro, like Rob said, it is what it is. But, after looking at texts, emails, etc., I'm convinced. You should be convinced. And you should convince your attorney that you owe this woman her money based on even you making attempts to pay it back by your verbiage, by your words, not mine. Secondly, you, a New Yorker in Philly, in my town, baby, and I'm representing my West Philly original.
Oh,
West
man,
Philly,
say it again. Say it again.
1977, the Gene Banks edition.
There's a reason why we live an hour and a half from each other and don't like each other.
All day. And you know, I actually, I'm sorry, I dropped. If there's ever anybody that should be a recipient of these right here, as well as matching bra.
That looks good on you, Chris.
No, this look good on John.
Wow.
No. Because, bro, you got a straight bitch award from me.
Wow.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Exactly what
Bing
I think.
bong.
Bing bong.
Those are for purchase, by the way. Puffandpretty.com. If anybody's interested.
Yeah, the Puff and Pretty edition. Okay? Bro, if you're going to come at anybody, come correct. Not at me, not at these co-hosts, not with this letter. If your lawyer got to meet my lawyer, hey, both of them get paid, but I'll get mine back. Trust me. Anybody got any questions out there? Susie, look, I know this is your time. Thank you for coming. Me and the co-host going to clear some things up. We appreciate you for coming on. We appreciate you bringing things to light. Appreciate those out there that support the Lit Torch app and have supported it and supported her in this endeavor and during this journey. And it's a shame that, you know, bad business practice. And this wasn't even about Philly Cigar Week. It was about other individuals in the industry that has done the same thing, not just him, but since he got a guilty complex and since I called it by name last week because it was true, it was factual. Now you want to try to come at me and tell me to cease and desist from having a show that you call Fox 5 or tell them to decease, you know, a murder in the hood or this, that, and the other. That's factual.
Yo, Chris, tell him to call and tell him to call me and I'll give him these nuts. He can cancel these nuts.
Yeah, you know, and
Y'all so disrespectful.
I don't give a flying flip flop right now about somebody being disrespectful because this bullshit letter is disrespectful. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me, Tanya. Can I get another drink?
And I wasn't even on the show. And I'm all named up in here. Hanging with y'all folks.
I'm sorry.
He's that way sometimes, Lenessa.
You know, but look, I appreciate those who took the time to come on. Mm-hmm. And you know, straight up, do anybody ever want to get out of pocket like this and just have a ridiculous amount of nothing good to say, especially when it comes from and within our own culture that we can't seem to get certain things right, our business practices, this, that, or the other. Come on, man. Ain't nobody ever gonna come up in Petworth and say that they ain't we cheated them or this, that, and the other, and blase, et cetera, et cetera.
They might say it, but you have your receipts. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Treat Philly Cigar Week to say, give them the respect and the courtesy because you got some good folks around you.
You're shaking the table, Chris.
Good folks around you, and some earnest and honest folks around you that really ain't even aware of certain things and situations. And you up here messing it up for everybody by your BS, not by mine. And matter of fact, to go even one further, to go on, you done had since Philly Cigar Week 4 events at least that I count and one coming up. It take money to make money. So you gonna tell me you ain't got the money? Nigga, please. Look, if anybody got any, there is even, you know, now the Facebook user logins are coming on and those, you know, making up a Facebook account, just to see what's going on. Get the word out, share it out, share it. And I hope I gave you the opportunity to come on, John. I know somebody got this and can get it to you. Matter of fact, I know you probably watching.
Oh, I would bet on it. I would bet on it. I would bet that he's probably watching or he has somebody watching. They're probably recording it or something. That's why I had to make sure I got my nut shot in there real quick, you know.
He probably
it'll be on YouTube, so for all to see. Yeah. It's public.
Yeah.
So anyway, ain't nobody here ruining Philly Cigar Week, bro.
No, not at all.
You're doing a great job at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
One, and then you're gonna still promote event after event after event. You gotta have some front money somewhere or whatever to put up to hold those events. I know this because I have them, and I know the money I gotta put up. And so now you're gonna say you don't have money to take care of this? Come on, man. I mean, I ain't got nothing. Like, I was one of your vendors up in Philly and made great. This ain't about me. I could choose to keep my mouth quiet and potentially come back and be a vendor because I made to the tune of about $8,000 in your 4 days.
Could you could have gave me some.
and that's because I know what I bring to the table. You asked for a service, I gave you better than what you normally would get. Come on, man. And this is how we're gonna treat our brothers and sisters in business. And now you want to scapegoat it and think I'm gonna run from this? Please. I know my laws and I know my rights.
I just think that he's got to do better than that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, really. Like, number one, it's got to come from a reputable law firm, not in somebody's basement, you know what I mean, with the water heater leaking in the background and while you're trying to type up something on a Commodore 64. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody never heard of that law firm before. Matter of fact, I'll give you a really good law firm. It's run by my old lieutenant colonel down in Center City. His name is Spalding. Go see him, and if you can afford his retainer, then I'll pay attention to the letterhead. You probably can't. But anyway, you know, you're not the only one that can get a lawyer. You know what I mean? And that's the first thing. The second thing is that that letter, it just, like I said a minute ago, that letter it's bullshit. It's really what it is. You're just trying to scare somebody that don't know no better. Look at us. Do we look like we're hold on? This is me scared. This is me scared.
Right. He can put the letter in. He can do what he want to do. He can do what let him put it in.
Well,
because when I put that paper on his ass and he lucky, I'm on a public broadcast. Because I wear a size 12.
Easy, doctor. 13. Easy, doctor. Well, I'm a 14, so. Yeah.
Hey, we go up the scale.
I guess I gotta get some KY jelly there.
Yeah.
Susie, did you want to say anything else?
I mean, I didn't want it to come to this point. Well, I really didn't. Know what? You know, again, try to manage this at the lowest level, and I mean, it escalated quickly.
Yeah, but you have friends like Chris, yeah.
And you know, it's unfortunate. I really don't. You know, if you know Lit Torch, if you know what Lit Torch stood for, it was more of collaboration. It was more of empowerment, where we all win together. And my experience was a little more of the opposite. And you know, I don't like that this has first come public. You know, I don't like it. I don't like that. You know, you got to use lawyers. Again, I didn't want to go that route. I didn't want to go to court. Again, he was paying, and that was sufficient. And then when it stopped, and then now I'm hearing that he doesn't owe me, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, you know, I'm over here disappointed. I am, you know, and didn't want it to get to this point, but it is.
And one of the things that, you know, she used me to mediate the situation between him, and I've had conversations and talks with him, and he was in agreement that he's gonna get her money and et cetera. Now it came to like, well, we need to have an event together and we can get it back. Come on, man, come on, that city slicker fast talking crap to me, bro, or even her for that matter. Nobody going for it. You can't even get one event right. I mean, if y'all been listening, you know, we was talking about last week the illicit business practices and why Susie got out the game. Now today is just come to the illicit business practices still, but namely one of John Armstrong, which I will mention by name, your Philly cigar, which saddens me to mention it by name. But it is what it is because there's no defamation there. If you represent it and you didn't do her the justice that is due to her, then own it, bro. Own it. Other than that, get them dag. What size those thongs?
Small.
You need a 4X. Dang. Yeah, anyway, I'm done. Look, J. Ferg, you got any closing remarks, man? This ain't got to be no long, drawn-out show. You got any closing remarks, man?
Destination Herb, January 12th to the 15th, Miami, Florida. Come hang out with us. Have an amazing time. Great experience. It's not just a cigar event. This is a freaking experience. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to working with Lito and Susie on this event, but somebody done fucked it up for everybody. But it's all love over here. You know what I mean? But we're going to still having a great time. We're going to have an amazing time. And I hope to see everybody in Miami in January. That's it. That's all I got. I'm going to sleep after this.
I hear you, man. Lenessa?
Get some rest, Jay. I know you worked hard. Congratulations again. I just want to say thank you to Susie for coming on, because I know it does take a lot of courage to do what you're doing, still fighting. And for you to come here with us, we really appreciate you. We appreciate everything you did in the industry. Good thing is you're not leaving town. So at least I still get to smoke with you and see you. So thank you for everything you've done for even me and my business. I appreciate your support, and we continue to support you even from afar. Thank you. Thank you, Susie.
Big Rob.
Destination Hearth, January 12th through the 15th, Miami, Florida. Come down. You're going to have a good time. It's going to be beautiful. My man Jay Ferg right there, he only got two things, his word and his balls, and he don't break them for nobody.
For nobody.
Nobody. All right. Only thing I got to say is I want to thank everybody in the audience for tuning in, for the live broadcast, and those that will watch the broadcast after this. Without you, there's no us. And we do this for you. So we appreciate your love and support, and spread the word, and, like and share this and push it out there. And my last comment is to Susie. I wish you the best of luck. You're a vet like me. You're a combat vet like me. And so I appreciate you. And, this isn't the first time that we failed to negotiate an obstacle. But guess what? Do you wish to try again? So that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Well,
thank you, Petworth.
Yeah. The hurtful part about all this is that all of this could have been avoided. Do I sometimes get out of pocket? Yes, I do. And will. But you always have to bring things back home and to a perspective that we all can understand. And we have to understand this. If we are ever going to do and be right by each other and do right by each other, we have to hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard than what has been already tagged upon us, put on us by other folks. But everything that we do and be is what they say we are. And we have to have the narrative, the character, the persona, and the willingness and the commitment to change that perception. There's some great businessmen I do business with here, and they never let me down. Kevin Giles, Tommy Collins, Jolly Man, those are DC folk. And even John, I will include you in that because I was at Philly Cigar Week last year. But until, I get to that behind the scenes stuff with Susie, the only way we continue to be in power and stay in power is by those that help us be in power and not put the negative, condescending, weight and bearings on us that and stuff we have to deal with and don't want to have to bring forth, because we don't want to ruin nobody's reputation. No, people run their reputations by what they do
themselves.
And by themselves. In this instance, it just gets brought to light. Clean up your act, bro. Because the only thing I try to do is keep this particular part, this entity of what we do and what we say we're about and how we like to enjoy it, and to keep the camaraderie, the networking, the business ventures that potentially come from it as sacred. And that's what we're about. For those that love the leaf. That's my time. That's our time. I thank those of you who have joined us and supported this particular broadcast and this show. Look, many blessings to you. And let's try to do better in how we do business with one another. God bless y'all. Peace.